Hey guys, Saturday. Actually, a very nice Saturday here in the Northland, eh? What are we looking at? Looking at another one from the Valve Jockey series from one of my local breweries, and a very good one at that, BandEBrewReviews. This is an Imperial KVASS. This is a rye brown ale with raisins, lemon peel, and spearmint. Not quite sure about that last one. Oh, and there's all sorts of debris in the bottom. You want to make sure not to, disrupt the debris. Bottle cap lists all of Obama's accomplishments on it. Here's his best accomplishment. Well, it's laying here, so don't even know who sent it, but the skull opener kind of looks like what's his name, Jeff Dunham's Ahmed, the dead terrorist. Today was a busy day. Got up early this morning. Went in to work on one of my projects. Put in a full tiled shower. Just getting that laid out. Then I ran back over to Minnesota and picked up Christine and met the kids and my buddy Howard for breakfast. Had coffee for the first time in 25 days, and honestly, I thought it sucked. Sam's like, no, the two of you suck. Coffee's awesome. Okay, well, that's what it looks like. Getting a little bit of the lemon, not noticing the spearmint. Cheers, guys. I remember reviewing one of these before, and this seems to be a fairly popular style to recreate on your own. First comment was from Ben N. First. I see he's back on top of his game. This one, for an Imperial, I don't know what normal is, but for an Imperial, this one is wow. If they could have only made that smaller. Looks like 8 something. 6.5. Wow. And 10 IBUs. Wow, this is just like, that explains the mild characteristics about it. And if this is an Imperial KVASS, then what's normal for this stuff? 1%? This would be another one that would work nicely with a shot of Tennessee honey whiskey. I shit you not. That's the real game changer and equalizer. You can put it in a lot of beers. Well, I can't really say a lot. 3 or 4. You can put it in beer, which means I also am seriously running out. And you get that like pickup of the honey without drowning it out in a whiskey flavor. Bulwark 1911, full homo, Zeus, bronze, I get it. The Real Cobra Burnout. First thumbs up. You know, some people just don't, you know, just can't appreciate the thumbs up button. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I actually click if it's any of my friends. I click the button before I'm even watching the video. I know I'm wrong, but I'm also very good and psychic, so I know that thumbs up is gonna stand. Meal Team, first thumb, whiskey titty. Okay, so we had breakfast, came back here, picked up the dog, ran out to our garden, which is at Christine's dad's house. Got quite a few things out there growing, and of course Shelby wanted to get out of the house for a little while. Weeded the garden, and then came home. I finished up on the gunsmithing. I have the SKS. The only thing that needs to be done, and it's something that I can't do myself, and after looking at it, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work. Oh, that's over there. To see if there's enough material on this barrel to get some threads on it. It's looking I don't even see how that's even possible. Because you know, this is a 30 cal rifle, so it needs to be a 5.8, and I can shove that in until you can see the barrel. And I can tell you, even if that whole sleeve assembly was back on here, this might take some doing. I might need to enlist the help of, say John Huber. Of course, I don't know how much John Huber would like the fact that I would need to beef up the barrel on this so that I could thread it, and then not use one of his, because Matador Arms is actually sending one. But I mean, that's how an SKS would look with a Huber brake on it. And this one is, I'll probably give it a little bit of a cleanup. This is the one that originally was on the Mosin, and this one is heading to Ed's house. The one thing I was worried about is one of the last things I did, and I have somewhat the same problem with the Mosin, and that's the wall. I mean, I took like almost 6 inches off that barrel. It was like 20. I don't remember what it was. It was a long ass barrel, and Bill, my gunsmith and FFL awesomeness, he had to take even more off to get back far enough to where it starts to get kind of meaty. Well, shit, if you even go all the way back to that wall without pulling the without pulling a gauge out, I don't even think that's enough. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do about this now. I'll figure something out. But this one, Ed, I don't have a 5/8 tap to chase these threads, but I had it in some acetone, and I believe I got all of the original material out of there, so you should have no problems threading that on your 308. Quickly, the last thing you saw me have an issue with was getting the mag in here. There was a serious issue with that, but as you can see now, I'm good to go. I didn't really want to mess around with anything on the back half, so what I did was I opened that up so that the see, I could have really easily, I mean, you're talking about a file and about 15 seconds. I could have modified this mag to work with this scenario, but then I would have had proprietary mags, and I didn't want that, just in case something ever changed. So I just took a little material out and brought the inside a little bit more, and then I had to take a little bit of the front half of the step so that it would gain clearance. And as you can see, it's nice and solid in there. I would put it in the wood. I said wood, but it doesn't actually fit right in the stock. It's still a little tight up front here, and there's no way in hell I'm going to spend an ounce of energy and time modifying that wooden stock when I have no intentions on using it. And for those people like Big Redneck Papa, Wade, you may have noticed that I pulled this mag in and out while the bolt is forward. I did the bolt modification. I also did a trigger job on it. One of the things yesterday, if you noticed, there was that real grittiness and the clunk, and right now it's like right up to the wall, a little bit of creep, and it fires. I took down, I took some length off of the sear, and I polished the contact surfaces on the sear, and put a little trigger grease on it, and it scales at 4.5 pounds. For what it is. I mean, I probably could yank it back apart and get a little bit more of this get a little bit more of that out of there, but for Norinco, which are pretty much notorious with having the shittiest of triggers of the SKSs, I'm pretty happy with it. It feels about the same as the one in the beautiful one. So this basically is all set to go, other than figuring out what I'm going to do about putting a muzzle device on it. Like I said, they're sending one. I already talked to Bill about it. I told Bill, I said, I bring some shit up here sometimes and it sits forever. Like right now, he has an HK pistol of mine up there, and I told him he better like get giddy up on it because I wanted it done by the chute. Oh yeah, sorry, I was being provoked into drinking alcohol out of a titty. And coincidentally, this particular style of beer would go real good with some of this in there. I might give her a little bump here at the end, but I don't want to offset the review of it by immediately busting into dumping whiskey into it. So I'll just dump whiskey into me. Well, for a sipping whiskey, that's some pretty good shit, if I must say so myself. Mule Team, I hope whomever wins calls her Melania. Me too. Neil, trust me when I say this, of several of the people that I privately hope I see their name get drawn, it would not bum me out at all to see you win that rifle. Not saying that the rest of you need to feel discouraged, but I would not be discouraged at all if Mule won it. Mule Team, hi Chris. She's not here, but I always relay these comments. Zeus, I like Odinworks a lot, but was really hoping that a Huber Concepts break would end up on Melania. Fucking sweet. AR-10. Hashtag Justin's final mission. Yeah, that was a decision that I had decided to do. John Huber does so much for me and other guys in the gun community. I just, I wanted him, involved in this, and and he had made the comment that that rifle would certainly perform and look better in his eyes. I think I mean, what if we're going to talk about Melania? We should look at Melania. Still, no word on the bolt carrier. I have not sent them an email. I thought I might maybe do that yet today. But yeah, this is. It's one of those things, man. I can honestly say if the God and Goddess of the YouTube gun community ever decided to rain happiness down on me, I would certainly not be disappointed to get a rifle just like this. Now, the only thing that, not to say that it really makes a difference, but if I'm going to go out and shoot a 308, I'd have a really hard time going out with, say, something like this all the time when I have the JP. I'm just being honest. But now if I had something just like this, chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor, say, something like that, then that would be a serious game changer. But this thing just came out awesome. I mean, got the big bad ambi charging handle. You got the nice takedown pins, the Celtic takedown pins. Got the Battle Arms development ambi selector. That sweet ass scope from Zeus and mount. And again, it was funny. Plop this thing on this rifle and start shooting, the silhouette at 100 yards with no problems. Just a badass rifle. In case something were to fail, we got the backup flip ups. So there you go, Zeus. Let's leave the lady out. Oh, I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. I think I did. I think I did. Bushnell is sending an Elite Tactical to replace the Millet. I should see that possibly Wednesday of this week. The thing that sucks is the Millet is a 35 millimeter, and I have rings for a 35 millimeter, but I do not have rings for a 34 millimeter. Oh, scratch that. I ordered a set of of 34 millimeter rings. If the scope shows up on Wednesday, it'll be showing up at the same time as the rings. And I cannot be accused of sugarcoating it or whatever you or going cheap. I picked up a set of 34 millimeter rings rated for practically quote unquote whatever amount of recoil you want to throw at them. They're a set of Burris Extremes. So should be able to get the rifle back together and start sighting it in again. Zeus, did you see the video of the guy that blew up a fridge the other day? It was pretty wild. No, I did not, but I'm always interested in things getting blown up. Mule Team, Eric, you don't have to justify you or your giveaways or your product reviews. Fuck those pieces of shit. No, I agree. I just think of how belittled they actually are. I mean, what do you think goes on here? I mean, some of these people, it's like, you know, flat out. You can say what you want, but, you know, I put a lot of time and effort into my videos. And I don't really give a flying fuck what YouTube wants to pay me because, you know, evidently they are just socialist libtard fucks that could give a flying shit. I mean, everything was going good for a lot of people, and to be totally honest, since everything went to shit, what did go to shit are my views, and people having to resubscribe to my channel all the time, people not getting notified. I mean, give me a break. You can say what you want. Oh, people just don't watch your videos anymore. That's fine if that's what you want to think. But, you know, when someone like Ed tells me, I don't get notified of your stuff at all anymore. And yes, I have the little bell thing set up. As a matter of fact, over the last few days, Ed has been getting notified of brew reviews from, what'd you say, Ed, 3 years ago? I never made money off of YouTube. The best, well, I think it was because of the Iraq veteran video, and that one was the biggest one particular month I've ever seen. But for me, I make enough money on YouTube to pay my cell bill. So you ask yourself what your cell bill is, and then you know how much I make a month. And after the whole shake-up with them and pulling ads and whatever, I made $10 less last month than I did the month before that. And I don't know if it's a plus or a minus to be involved with a network, but like for instance over here, I know that they run ads for, usually they try to push stuff like Chevrolet, and Budweiser, I think, was another one that I saw listed on the monthly statement that they try to push over here. And that's fine. Another thing that I've had people make a comment on before. Wow, you can tell evidently my pocket was sweaty. Didn't realize these shorts had the little side cargo pocket. That works out perfect, even for a big ass knife like the SOG. Okay, but no, yeah. So you can say what you want, but for instance, Battle Box. I don't care what you want to think. I can tell you from looking at the stuff and using the stuff and dealing with the stuff and building a bug out bag and that kind of shit, Battle Box is top-notch stuff. I'm not sure if I want to be disappointed this month that they didn't do a knife, that they did a battle axe. But I've had plenty of knives. I mean, to be honest, my favorite of all of the Battle Box knives up to this moment in time was the LMF, the Gerber, and I mean a badass sheath, A badass knife. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you because I gave it to Samantha's boyfriend Corey as his birthday present. But I plan to get another one via continuing in the minus direction that I'm going. When I hit my my goal weight, which I am now within 12 pounds of, Christine said she'd get me the Invicta watch that I wanted and replace my LMF. It's just a badass knife. Is it something that you carry on you when you head out for breakfast in the morning? Probably not, but it's a badass knife. JR10 Desert Gold. Thank you for the info on the scope. From your original description, I thought it might be a Primary Arms. I love their products. By the way, I love your idea about Honey Jack being added to different beers. Well done, sir. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to put the last of this, get the last of the debris in here, and by the time we hit somewhere down here, I can, let's just talk about this for a moment. After all, it is a freaking brew review. Oh, hang on, there's another one from JR10, so I just assume pick up both of his at the same time. Corey, I am finishing up my latest 5.56 build that I've shown in recent videos. Badass. Man knows quality. I was leaning towards the Gen 3 Primary Arms ACSS 1:6 scope until you brought the 4:14 Orion? I don't even know what they even call the thing. Scope to my attention. The 1:6 has better eye relief and it is 15 ounces. The Orion is has more magnification than the 1:6. Did I just skip a line here? More magnification and is quite a bit heavier. Looking for opinions for close to medium range. Is the extra weight of the Orion worth the extra magnification? Well, see, as a professional e-bagger, actually we can look at both of those scopes. I don't think I have the Gen 3 though. Gotta move that out of the way. Gotta move that out of the way. CJR10, I don't even remember what generation mine even is. Again, a 1:6. It is a lit reticle.
What you doing, honey?
I'm just standing here talking to a camera. Want to come down here and get jiggy with it?
Huh?
So you want to come down here and get jiggy with it? Not a first focus plane. Now, like I said, I'm not sure how many different versions of this they've had come out. So I'm not even sure what generation mine is. Now, I don't know for close to medium range. Honestly, for close to medium range, I would probably stick with the 1:6. I can tell you, I have not had the opportunity to shoot mine at anything beyond 100 yards. I didn't bring this over to the long range area at the shoot last year. But, you know, I'd be happy to, you know, try to get some update information on that for you. But I was shooting this scope in Missouri, and I believe that target was 210 yards, and this was 0 challenge. So having said that, I would honestly say that this would probably be just as easy of a shot at 300 yards. So now you're covering, you know, you're covering your close all the way to 300 yards. Keep the thing at 1 power. Of course, the one thing I absolutely drives me crazy is the rear cap always wants to flip off when you're trying to open it, and this one is like locked in there like some bitch glued the thing in place. But again, pretty much the same reticle. You know, you got the half moon on top. You've got your even has a little scale. If you were to put this up against, you know, you could use it to actually measure like a guy standing there, and that would give you the range to that guy. I don't know. I guess the bottom line to answer your question is, for that particular build in a 5.56 platform, I'd probably stick with this 1-6. Like you said, you get the weight savings on a 5.56 rifle. You know, I mean that's a badass setup. You know, even if I say, you know, Primary Arms called and said, you know, go ahead and order something off of our site, I don't know if I would switch out anything that I have already in use. I mean, this would be probably a little bit tighter package than what's on my 24-inch, because that millet is a pretty big scope in comparison to this guy. But I would probably lean towards something 30 cal for this. You know, keeping this on like I said, this setup as it is on here, I feel would be an absolute killer setup for Project SKS. Now on a 5.56, I'm really happy with that. If one of these showed up in my e-begging mail, I can honestly say I would not take this off of my Justin rifle and put it on here. I would leave this as it is. So I think the answer that I'm giving you is I'd probably stick with your original plan of the Gen 3 ACSS 1-6. That's just my thoughts on that. Right? And honestly, it wouldn't change my mind if they called and said, we'll send you one or the other. Which one do you want? If it was a 5.56 build, I'd stick with that 1-6, because I know what it was like. You know, at 200 plus yards, it was just like all day long, ting, ting, ting. It was impressive, and I didn't think that I would have that feeling for something that was a 1-6 power. Now, having said that, remember back when I was out in Colorado for the Sniper's Hide competition, and then when I sat and spent about a half an hour talking with the boys on Team JP, not a single one of them, even on the 1,749 yard shot, had gone beyond 16 power. So there you go. Now I don't even know what the hell I was going to finish up on before I finished up on something else. Okay. John Solar 283, well, I showed up. I appreciate that. Ed made it. Wade, Big Regnet Papa. Liberals are crying because Comey was lying. Winning is just beginning. Trump train, leaving the station and rebuilding our nation. Snowflakes don't cry, just eat shit and die. Trump train. Wow, that's like a beautiful little go fuck yourself snowflake poem. And it's true. I think Trump set that hook so fucking deep in those snowflakes. You guys were so outplayed. In the media, you guys have completely lost all your credibility. The only thing and then you deal with someone like say George Soros, who is privately funding the war against our country, but let's not forget who he is. A piece of shit that should have a bullet put through his head. If our founding fathers would hear, they would just skip everything and move right on to a double tap between the eyes with that piece of shit. That's all I'm going to say on that. George Soros, I wish George Soros was dead, because that would be a big step in making America great again. He is an instigator. He is on the wrong side of history. He is a pathetic piece of shit. Mr. Ulster 207 starting to slip back to the old ways. Good God. I can't even talk about what it is and pour it. I mean, I'd have to have the shit poured ahead of time. Then, if I did that, then the real core burnout might be concerned about viscosity. Smile Money. You love to dwell on the trolls. I think you make their day by giving them attention. Me and your other loyal subscribers love the channel. No, it's just this one. A couple of my really good friends that are let's just put it this way. Actually, I don't want to say too much. It's just that when you have somebody who thinks you don't know who they are, and it turns out where you go, really? Wow. It's embarrassing what happens to some people. But no, I just me personally, it's Smile Money. It's not just the trolls. You know, I have seen it time and time again on my videos, on other people's videos. Don't bother even getting involved in one of his giveaways, because they're all rigged for his friends. Embarrassing for you, people that make that comment, is I have friends. They may not have been when I first met them, but it's great how YouTube has worked out. In the big scheme of things, I get paid millions from YouTube, because money cannot replace the friendships that I have made. And Smile Money, you would be one of them. Mr. Holster, Ruger is at a Mark IV, and I have a recall on them. Is that bad? Stephen Bush, yeah. I know I miss Blog Radio. Nothing like spending 3 hours at the dealership with a car you've had for 2 days just to balance the fucking tires. Have to go back today because the cunts put the wheel weight on the outside of the custom rims that were on it. Let's see if they fuck them up. Wow. Gillian 426, I don't own any SIGs either, Eric. I mean, trust me, I wish I could say I had some. Oh yeah, we were going to talk about the beer. for something that is an Imperial, I don't know if by design this is. I mean, I've reviewed some before, and I don't know if it's a really really light beer, and obviously with those numbers I told you about, 10 IBUs, it is extremely smooth. It's now I am getting more of this kind of that aged, that creamy, buttery maltiness to it. The whole lemon peels. It has a little bit of a citrus charge to it, but not much. And spearmint, if it didn't say it on the bottle, you'd never hear me say that. That's what I'm getting from it. It's just a really smooth, constant. I mean, there's no roller coaster in flavors. I mean, it's something that Smile Money will, could easily deal with. We don't have to use 12 descriptives to talk about it. And it probably could use a little bump, but I'll get her down there a little bit more. Altenda, guys, Altenda, what are you wearing right now? Because I'm really kind of missing you. Tardisius, top 10 thumbs up Trump train. I always love where your head's at. Seems like it's more effective when he just rattles the shit out of it. Sharky762, nice lingerie on the full stocked brew chick. Some interesting stuff. No! Some interesting stuff in the battle box. Can't wait to see the official video. I'm not going to get to that today. I'll be working on that tomorrow morning. That's a nice beater looking SKS for the build indeed. Looking forward to seeing that come together too. Like I said, Annika told me that the shit went in the mail either because it gets sent from Canada, to Minnesota or to the United States, where I don't know. But she couldn't give me 100% confirmation, other than to say it was either on its way to me on Friday or it will be on its way to me on Monday.
Whatever.
Good God. If you're going to be like that, you can just go back upstairs and lay by the vegetable garden that you're putting together.
I just got done watering it.
How many hot peppers are in that one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We gotta do that shit all year round. You gotta do that little thing you were talking about. We can build shit if we have to. Of course, the window you want to put it in is the one that gets the least amount of sun ever.
Well, where else am I going to put it? We don't have very many windows that get that much sun.
Unless you want to put it in the freezing land. That's not good. Sharky762, good start with the SKS. Not. Perhaps the magwell needs some adjusting to get the mags working.
Did it
Or
already,
or
didn't you?
gunsmithing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, alright.
Did you show it? Did you talk about it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? Did you talk about it enough, or?
I even touched myself while I talked about it.
Okay.
Here's a problem
It's
though.
all good.
It's a 30 cal rifle, right? And Bill said that he put threads on here so that one of these would work.
No.
We have a problem. Houston, I think we have a problem. This one's going to Edgelina, by the way. But as you can see, I'm awesome, like always. The mags come out without having to. Here, you can demonstrate, Vana. See how easy that was?
Very easy.
Oh, stick it back in. Oh, you got to get that. See that in there.
Oh.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Well, I'm trying to do this with one hand, so.
It's easier if it was like, say, in a frame. always like to guess. If you want to pull that out again, please. Trigger scale chick. You want to hold it or you want me to hold it?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. A little bit of creep.
5.
Woo! She's fucking awesome. It scales at 4.5, but it's not real consistent. Kind of, because it's an SKS.
Yeah.
But it did a trigger job on it too. Took yesterday. If you tried it, you go, "Oh, that sucks." When you got to here, you actually heard kind of a clunk as it went to that, and then you hit the wall, and then there was some creep, and then it went off. I got rid of the clunky, creepy, crappy clunkiness.
Such technical terms.
Clunky, creepy, crappy?
Yeah. Clunky,
For sure.
crappy. So what are you doing after this build? What's next?
Giving a bunch of shit away, and at the same time, I need their help to get the girls' parts together and on its way to Florida. I don't know if I'm supposed to mention this out loud or not, so I'll wait, but the Crazy Scotsman has gone full in on the continuing a fundraiser. We're going to start a new one. We're gonna zero it. We're gonna set a new goal, and we're gonna go again. But I think remember when we were talking about should I do a 22-10-22 or should I do an AR-15 10-22? Not 10-22, but an AR-15 22. We are gonna do the AR-15 22, but there also might be a bolt-action rifle and a pistol, all in the package. Okay.
Her hands look creepy.
Very. The whole, well, the middle part's okay, but the.
But look at where her finger is like one's bent and one's extended outward, and then those don't look like fingernails; they look like claws.
And really, look at that face. Kind of looks like a train wreck. Ed. Oh, by the way, since you just showed up, Meal Team says hi, Chris.
Yeah, hi, Steve.
Ed,
I missed
cheers.
the show last week.
What a work of art behind you.
Oh, must have been talking about the other beer girl.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. William Geist. That girl's Spider-Man costume doesn't look like it fits. I need to find her and help her. Oh, you're just in time for the second to the last. And your and Ammohead is didn't comment. Stephen Bush, yeah, I'm an asshole. I didn't get in on the giveaway gun. You still have time. Midnight tomorrow.
Today's the 10th. You said June 10th.
Well, it was supposed to be Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, well, you said June 10th, so that's Saturday.
Well, I also said Sunday at midnight, so which one has precedence? I guess if I accept it or not. Sharky762 agreed. A 22 long rifle AR build would be epic. I haven't seen a mil-spec upper with a dedicated 22 long rifle bolt and barrel yet. There's the CMMG adapter for ARs, but then the barrel would have the correct twist rate. Wouldn't have the correct twist rate for a 22 long rifle. Chiappa, which is the pistol that you like, has a decent polymer 22 upper assembly, but haven't handled it. And it flexes, but if you put enough strain on it, I'll go dig around. Well, I know I can. Used to. I should check before I make this comment out loud. But the DPMS 22 LR Oracle is what I have on mine. So. I need to get some pipe tobacco. Okay, where do I put this on the E-scale? Well, it's for an Imperial. It's tasty, but it's really by those numbers, 10 IBUs, really mild. for an Imperial and from bent paddle, I just thought this would have a lot more oomph to it. But it's very good. It's for that, you know, I'm going to give it an 8.5. And tomorrow.
What are we looking at tomorrow?
What are we looking at tomorrow?
I don't know. What are we looking at tomorrow?
I don't know what that was. And it lived! But not the second time. Why don't we look at some Scottish ale, Lassie? Let's look at Scottish ale from Belhaven. Scottish. Those Scottish people. 5.2%. So let's look at this tomorrow. Of course, that is if there is a tomorrow. Could be the day after tomorrow.
Or the next day.
Or the one after that.
Uh-huh.
Or the one after that. Or JR10 was wondering about something. Want to try some?
No. Still off the alcohol.
Everything's better out of a titty.
So you say.
You've never tried a titty? They're pictures.
Really?
They show the holster that Pete made for me. Can I touch it? Still smells like Pete.
Is that for your ugly gun?
Thank you. Oh. This beer smells great. Ah. God, woman. I think that's beer that's coming out of my eyes. It's not an ugly gun.
It is too.
Guys, I love you. Yeah, it's for the ugly gun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. If anybody would enjoy shooting that one, it should be you. Very light recoil. Holds a buttload of rounds.
Yeah, it looked fine before you made it ugly.
I'll talk to you. You guys tomorrow.
I'm just telling you the truth.
I like that color.
Well, I'm glad you do.
Cryptic Neptune Blue.
Because you're the one that's got to look at it, not me.
And carry it.
Yeah.
And that blue of the gun with the subtle blue of the carbon fiber look.
Oh, yeah, look at
Oh,
that.
that's going to be sexy. Not to mention, it still smells a little bit like Pete.
Oh, my God.
Okay, cheers, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Cheers, Lars. Ha ha.